Every legend begins in a place no one wants to stay, rock bottom. It's the cold, unforgiving ground where dreams are shattered, where people's laughter cuts deeper than any wound, and where hope feels like a distant memory. Rock bottom doesn't announce its arrival, it crashes into your life. One day, you're chasing dreams. The next, you're staring at failure, wondering how it all slipped away. It could be losing a job, watching a business collapse, hearing no for the 100th time, or even being abandoned by the people you trusted the most. At rock bottom, everything feels heavy. The silence of the night is louder than ever, reminding you of what you've lost. It's the point where doubts creep in. Maybe they were right. Maybe I'll never make it. Maybe this is where it all ends. But here's the truth. Rock bottom is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of transformation, because when you have nothing left to lose, you finally discover who you really are. You find out whether you'll stay down or rise again. Rock bottom strips away illusions and forces you to choose. Surrender to the pain or use the pain as fuel. And that decision, that single choice, is what separates the forgotten from the legendary. This is where the comeback begins. Not when everything is perfect, but when everything is broken. When life pushes you to the ground, most people stay there. But the few who rise, those who become legends, are fueled by something different. That fuel is resilience. Resilience is not born in comfort. It is forged in pain. It's the fire that starts to burn when you refuse to accept defeat, when you take the rejection, the humiliation, the heartbreak, and turn it into energy. This fire doesn't roar overnight. It starts as a spark, a whisper in your mind saying, "I can't stay here. I was meant for more." That whisper becomes a roar every time you choose to get up one more time after falling. Every late night, every sacrifice, every small step forward is proof that you are no longer the same person who hit rock bottom. The fire of resilience is invisible to the world. Nobody sees the battles you fight in silence, the doubts you silence every morning, the tears you wipe away in the dark. But those unseen battles are where champions are created. This is the stage of transformation, the grind that nobody claps for, the hustle that nobody admires, the sacrifices nobody knows about. And yet, it's this very fire that prepares you for the rise. Rock bottom tested you, but resilience begins to shape you. The world hasn't noticed yet. They still think you're finished. But deep inside, the fire is burning, and soon the world will see what it created. The climb back is never easy. After rock bottom and after resilience has been lit, comes the hardest part, the rise. This is where every excuse gets crushed by discipline, where every setback becomes a stepping stone. The rise doesn't happen in one grand leap. It happens in small, relentless steps that the world often overlooks. A single extra hour of work, a small victory no one claps for, a door that opens after 100 have slammed shut. This stage is filled with doubt and resistance. People will still laugh, still whisper, still point fingers. They'll say, "It's impossible. You're wasting your time. You'll never get there." But legends don't listen to noise. They listen to their vision. Every no becomes fuel. Every obstacle becomes proof that they are on the right path. Slowly, momentum builds. The same person who was once ignored begins to rise higher, faster, stronger. The world starts to notice, not because you begged for attention, but because results speak louder than words. And in this climb, something shifts. Failure no longer feels like the end. It feels like preparation. Pain no longer feels like punishment. It feels like power. The rise against all odds is where belief turns into reality. It's where resilience meets opportunity. And it's the chapter where the world realizes the comeback is real. And then the moment arrives, the one the world never expected. The person who was once broken, doubted, dismissed, now stands tall, unshakable, unstoppable. This is not luck, not chance, not some miracle handed from the sky. This is the result of every scar, every sleepless night, every battle fought in silence. The legend is born not because the journey was easy, but because it was nearly impossible. The same voices that once said, "You can't," are now silent. The same doors that once slammed shut are now wide open. And the same world that once overlooked you now looks up to you. This is the full circle moment, the proof that rock bottom was never the end, it was the beginning. But here's the truth. Legends are not defined by trophies, fame, or applause. A true legend is someone who turned pain into purpose, rejection into resilience, and struggle into strength. Someone who showed the world that no matter how far you fall, the legend is born the moment you stop living in your past and start owning your future. And as your story unfolds, it carries a message powerful enough to ignite others. If you can rise from nothing, so can they. From rock bottom to legend, that is not just a story. It's a reminder that the comeback will always be stronger than the setback.